Well, the Eagles had their first padded practice of training camp today. Jalen Hurts, absolutely surgical. Haason Reddick gives his first real comments on Nolan Smith, and a very interesting rotation at linebacker and safety. All the details today and more. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Tuesday. Philadelphia put the pads on for the very first time. They were out there today, a beautiful day in Philadelphia, and we learned a lot when people started actually going against each other and hitting. We're gonna jump into all the latest updates here. First, though, if you guys want a chance to win a Kelly Green jersey, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time on our Wednesday link live, myself and Josh Davis, we're giving one away. So mark your calendar, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the Kelly Green jersey giveaway. All right, first big takeaway from camp day 4. Again, pads officially came on here, and Jalen Hurts with pads on was fantastic. Look at these numbers: 15 to 17, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Ellis Park says it was an outstanding day for Hurts. Surgical with the ball against the first team defense. Touchdown pass to Brown was the highlight of the day, but made a lot of really nice, smart throws both in and out of the pocket. His last 2 days have been extremely impressive for the Eagles quarterback. The streak of no interceptions in training camp continues for what could be a possible MVP year for Jalen Hurts. Again, we wanted to see him just continue that climb up, and that climb has continued up so far. And while you'll say it's training camp this and it's training camp that, at least he's not throwing interceptions like this that Dak Prescott threw yesterday, making it 3 interceptions for Dak Prescott through his first week of training camp and 0 so far for Jalen Hurts. Again, you're wondering about a slump, a post-Super Bowl slump. How's he looking going into the third year as a starting quarterback? A+, all good grades so far coming out for Jalen Hurts, and numbers don't lie. The accuracy is there, the touchdowns are there, and not turning the football over, one of his specialties, is there as well. Really, really good stuff here from Jalen Hurts. All right, let's get to our first big rotational news. There's that name again, Christian Ellis. First team on 11 on 11s with Nakobe Dean. So your first look of full pads, starting offense for starting defense, and your 2 linebackers were Nakobe Dean, as we talked about yesterday, and as expected, because he will be one of the starting linebackers, and Christian Ellis. He's beating out Nicholas Morrow right now. It's surprising. I continue to be hesitant of the Christian Ellis train, but you can't deny the fact that Philadelphia's putting him there with the first teamers, right? I mean, I can't continue to say, well, we need to see more. Well, we need to see more, when all we keep seeing is that he's in the starting rotation. So big day for Christian Ellis. He looked good out there. Didn't get an interception like he has over the past couple of days. However, I think he's going to be your first team starting linebacker, at least for the first preseason game, and obviously we'll see how well he plays in that going forward for the final 2 and then into the regular season. But right now, obviously Dean is a lock at linebacker. Ellis is the other name to go ahead and keep a very, very close eye on. Other rotational information in terms of the safety spot. We're monitoring this, but it looks like Reed Blankenship is locked up one of the one safety spots. They're rotating at the other one. Thomas R. Peterson says a lot of rotation at first team safety, except for Reed Blankenship. He's been locked in with the starters so far. So they've put in Terrell Edmonds, they put in Kayvon Wallace. Sidney Brown is not mixed in that much with the first teamers, if any, at least according to the reports that I have seen so far from training camp, but 2 open spots there, technically going into training camp. Blankenship has locked down 1. It seems like he is going to be a starter, and honestly, we're keeping an eye on Kayvon Wallace, we talked about yesterday, more on him in just a minute. He has been kind of rising up depth charts right now and is getting a couple of rotational shots there with the first team defense in 11 on 11s and 7 on 7s. Speaking of which, Marcus Mariota struggling again today in training camp. He was running the football well, but throwing the football is not his strength, at least so far. He's had an overthrow and was picked off by aforementioned Kayvon Wallace. So there he is again with another interception, trying to win the first team starting safety job. He's making some plays. I mean, you got to at least acknowledge it. Mariota, though, Tanner McKee, keep an eye on him. He made some good plays today, had a nice escape of Nolan Smith, almost got a sack on him. More on Nolan Smith in a second. But Tanner McKee might be somebody pushing Mariota if Mariota continues to struggle throwing the football. I know you're getting Mariota because he's a veteran, but if you want to actually win a football game, if Jalen Hurts goes down for a game, is Mariota the best person for that situation? 4 days into camp, my answer would be no, but again, the key word there is 4 days into training camp. Okay, a couple of offensive versus defensive line battles to keep an eye on here because the pads came on, meaning you got one-on-one reps. Landon Dickerson versus Jordan Davis, 700 pounds of force colliding, and they called it a draw. So you see Landon Dickerson again heading into his 3rd year in the National Football League, expecting to be absolutely fantastic, and Jordan Davis really working there. That was a really good battle to see and a fun one to see end in a draw because that's his 2 really big boys, 700 pounds of force, like he says, colliding there. But in terms of the overall offensive defensive line takeaways, EJ Smith had a good tweet here. Tyler Steen had a quality rep against Jalen Carter. Nolan Smith with a wow speed rush, albeit against Chim Orakafor. I always mess up his last name. But the speed is the key word there for Nolan Smith. We'll continue on him in a second. Fletcher Cox had a competitive rep against Cam Jurgens. I'd give it to Fletcher, though. And so while there wasn't any sort of shocking one-on-one, there were no reports of Jalen Carter beating up Cam Jurgens or Tyler Steen getting wrecked by Nolan Smith. It seemed like it was a pretty even day for the offensive line and defensive line. There were a couple of takeaways that Tyler Steen, again, good rep so far in terms of the starting potential right guard. I think Cam Jurgens is winning that battle, though. And then Nolan Smith with the speed continues to kind of be the theme of training camp. If there was one, it's that Jalen Hurts looks really good and Nolan Smith is incredibly fast. You should thumbs up and be very excited about that. Okay, over here to Haason Reddick, who spoke to the media in the post-media scrum after practice, and he had a really good quote about Nolan Smith. He said, quote, "He has greatness ahead of him." And while we all are waiting for Haason Reddick to kind of say these words about Nolan Smith, because you know Nolan Smith loves Haason Reddick and wants to be like Haason Reddick, it's fun to see Haason Reddick give Nolan Smith a little bit of love there for the very beginning. Now, obviously, again, it's early. Haason Reddick's job is not to get Nolan Smith ready, although that would be nice. His job is to, continue to get double-digit sacks, but still, you knew they were going to ask him this question when they got him in front of the media eventually, and he had a really good answer saying Nolan Smith has greatness ahead of him. Now, I want to go over here to 94.1 WIP. They had a good video on Haason Reddick, who was asked if he's underpaid or needs a new contract going into year 2 of a 3-year deal. Listen to what he said.
Keep coming out, keep working, man. Those type of things have a way of sorting themselves out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just continue to come out, work, prepare myself. Like I said, continue to be a better version of Haason Reddick. Continue to be a great teammate. Go out here, work hard for guys, and let those things sort themselves out.
Are you underpaid?
Say it again.
Are you underpaid?
Man, I ain't going to say here. I mean, like I said, y'all see it. Y'all know what's going on. Like I said, I'm worried about being the best version of myself and letting everything else sort itself out.
I thought it was a pretty good answer, right? Y'all see it. Y'all know what's going on. He is underpaid. And we talked about his, highest paid pass rushers in the National Football League. And Haason Reddick kind of getting slighted by not being a top 9 pass rusher in Madden and stuff like that. But he does deserve a new contract. The question is going to be, how will Philadelphia handle that? And they have the money to do it right now. They freed up cap space a couple of days ago. They already had $14 million in free cap space. Is this a deal Howie wants to do before the season? Is this something that Howie doesn't want to do at all because of the age of Haason Reddick and obviously Nolan Smith kind of waiting in the wings and being that replacement whenever Haason Reddick does retire? Reddick is on the wrong side of 30. He is up there in age a little bit. Now, albeit, he's not that old, but still, I am very curious to see how the Eagles are going to handle this. The good thing, though, is that there isn't any sort of holdout pending or any sort of drama, right? He understands he deserves more money, but he also understands that they're in a good spot. Philadelphia's in a good spot. They're going to treat him with respect, and they're going to do him right by the Eagles and by himself. And so I expect this to be just fine, no drama, but always funny to see the media trying to stir some things up and being like, hey, Haason, you aren't paid enough. What do you think about that? Kind of hoping for a soundbite where Haason goes, oh, pay me right now, or else I'm going to be really mad and not show up to training camp. So nothing of the sort today. Nice try, media. Looks like it's going to be just fine for Haason Reddick and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I believe they will have a closed practice tomorrow. They kind of go for a 3-on, 1-off sort of situation. So they were off yesterday, back on the day with pads. Tomorrow's a closed practice. Then you're going to have Thursday will be an open practice. Friday they'll have off, and then back on Saturday is how the schedule kind of continues, 3-on and 1-off. So we'll have plenty more coverage tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Literally every single day here on the channel. If you appreciate that sort of thing and you like the Philadelphia Eagles daily training camp updates, let me know down below with a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button as well, as we are flying up the charts right now. If you want nonstop, no BS, quality content for Philadelphia, this is your place. That is my promise to you. Okay, plenty more stuff happening in the next couple of days and weeks. Obviously, keeping an eye on more padded practices to see the kind of matchups that we want to report on. A good first day for Philadelphia with the pads on. Plenty more coming from here. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show.